I'm gonna get back to that story, Sonny. Just, just you listen to Boomer Great One. He's gonna tell you about how it was back in the olden days, back before fire, back when we walked uphill for everything. In fact, we didn't even have a concept of downhill because there was no downhill. Everything was uphill. We thought that was normal. We didn't even have a word for it because there was no alternative. It was uphill all the time. You just need to reach down and grab yourselves by your bootstraps and pull yourselves up, Sonny. Because when I was your age, I bought a house for $25,000. And I made that money on my paper route and bussing tables at the local cafe. And if I could do it, you can do it too. You just need to reach down and pull yourself up and just buckle up there, buckaroo. God, I hate boomers.
So, you may already know that bad news sells a lot more than good news. Like if there's good news, it doesn't sell. I think Critical Drinker just he mentioned it where if he does something, the Wascally Woman folk, although he doesn't do that, but another shit movie coming out from Disney, another shit game. He'll get, no joke, sometimes 10 times. I think he was like 5 or 6 times. I know if I do just regular asshole consulting requests that aren't terribly exciting or interesting, but the client has an interest in it, and it benefits other people. I think we all share some of the same problems, and so it appeals to some people. But I noticed, about a 4-to-1, a 5-to-1. If I get something agitating or controversial, if I get something that's negative news, which it almost invariably is, not to say that I'm a pessimist. You see where I'm going with this in a bit. But if I were to come in like, Cappy had a good poo this morning and had some good coffee, no one would tune in. No one would tune in. And the implication when people point this out, they are trying to say there's something wrong with humans, right? Like our default setting is pessimism, and that in an unhealthy psychological way, we gravitate towards bad news. Somehow, maybe it vindicates the bad choices we've made in life. Like there's a selection bias, like you're looking for. But I came up with a much simpler theory. I haven't done any research on it, but I got a simpler theory, and it came from the fact, what was it? Someone said along the lines like, you weren't so pessimistic after all, but which is now becoming a common refrain. That's a common instance. Like, I thought you were negative. I thought you were just this asshole Republican. Yeah, I didn't know you were. Oh my God, you were right. You were right. How'd you know it was going to happen? You were right. And here's what I think why people, it's not that they prefer bad news, but it gets more traction. Because it's not bad news, it's reality. And the touchy feel good bullshit everyone hears, that's the lies. And they say, wait a minute. Everyone around me tells me, be more positive. Oh, it's just you got to buckle up there, buckaroo. You're the one that's wrong. And then when you see data come out that's bad news, you realize, wait, I'm not fucking crazy. The bad news is not bad news. It's accurate. It reflects what I'm witnessing, experiencing in the real world. That's why I think people, that's just my theory. I'm on a more than 60-40, 63-37, 2/3. I got 2/3 confidence in my theory, at least. Well, okay, 98% confident it has some veracity, right? No sociological phenomenon is caused by one thing. So I'm almost supremely confident that at least some of it is determined. But I'd say that's the majority. Sit down. Come on a journey with me. Ever since you were a little kid and you could pay the fuck it, I mean like 3, right? It's about when you're like, oh, I'm me. I'm here. I'm sentient. Up until about the time you're 30, and the public, college system really doesn't have much left to do with you. Like from 3 to almost 30, you are fed such poppycock idealistic bullshit. It's optimistic. It's overly optimistic. It's not real. And you come to expect, well, with my journalism degree or my degree in communications, I'm going to make 6 figures with absolutely no programming ability whatsoever. Being a narrative consultant, I'm going to go make 6 figures in the video game industry. What do you mean we're laid off? Oh, if I just be myself, I'm going to get myself an 8.5 girlfriend who's going to want to have sex and is going to stay thin for her entire life. She won't divorce me. That happens to other people. And then when all this bullshit you were promised as a kid and as a young adult, right, never materializes, you're like, what the fuck? Like, you start thinking, well, what's wrong? And then actually the logical, intellectually honest thing is to look at yourself. Like, but it doesn't explain it. Doesn't explain it. You get more and more pissed off as things that you were promised never were delivered. You start thinking you got bad luck, maybe even think you're cursed. It's like, no, you were just propagandized to be way too fucking optimistic. Impossibly optimistic. It was never going to happen. And, back when you're younger, there's people like me. Well, that doesn't add up and make sense. Why do you want to murder babies, Adolf? I didn't say that. I said that maybe we should lower taxes. Or maybe you're going to be a barista with your English major. And then I'd be curious, like start below 18. Do younger people gravitate towards negative news and older people gravitate towards, do younger people gravitate towards positive news and older people gravitate towards negative news because the negative news isn't negative. It's the real fucking world and it explains everything. That's what I think. That's what I'm putting a fair bet on. I'm not actually betting any money on it. I'd bet $1,000 on this if we could figure it out somehow. I don't know what methodology you'd employ to figure that out. But before you pay, there's just a lot of negativity. There's just like, yeah, because you've been lying to people for the first halves of their lives and they gravitate towards bad news because like, hey, that makes fucking sense finally. That makes sense. I'm still pissed off and angry. Matter of fact, I'm hugely angry that I was lied to about being optimistic bullshit when I was a little kid, all the way up to my young adult. At least it makes sense, right? Take the red pill. Remember how no more than 10 years ago, which is very short in human time, when we started coming out saying, yeah, you shouldn't be getting married, right? Not in the United States, and depending on which country and what their laws are, you should be getting married. Oh my God, did you know women are not holy, sacred little angels? Oh my God, can't get laid. Can you, loser? Well, actually, I did get laid a lot of times. And I'm going to predict that if you get married, you're going to get laid less. Oh my God, you just, what's the standard dumb low IQ? Who hurt you? Well, you must have mommy's problem. How small is your dick? Well, here we are 10 years later. And how, shucks howdy. Did it seem very pessimistic back then? Did it seem awfully pessimistic? Oh, God, you want to go back even further than that? How old is my book Worthless? Where I told all you young idiots not to major in dumb shit. I think I was late 20s when we're talking maybe 20 years. I got to look it up. Man, it can't be 20 years ago. 2025. 17 years ago? 18 years ago? Wow. It's a while ago. Oh, no, the book came out 2011. That's 14 years ago, but I was warning about worthless degrees years before that. You're ruining our dreams. Hey, millennials, how's that now? Do you appreciate the bad news that you got lied to and fucked over by the previous generation? And that, yes, in fact, you did major in dumb shit. And in hindsight, right? Not when you're a naive, misled 17-year-old, but in hindsight now as a 37-year-old, you realize that was bullshit? You realize you were lied to? You're just negative and pessimistic if you think your degrees are worth it. No, they're waking the fuck up. It's real. Things were that bad. That's all I wanted to point out. That was just my observation. Just wanted to point that out. The next time I hear people gravitate towards bad news, oh, bad news gets more clicks. I'm like, yeah, but isn't it true? Then how is it bad news? Then that's just news, right? If I I don't know, I stubbed my toe in the new for whatever reason, the newspaper would run a story on it. Aaron Clary stubs toe. He said, "Oh, that's bad news." No, that's news. If it lied and said Aaron Clary diagnosed with stage 4 cancer, that's bad news. The good news is Aaron Clary had hugs and kisses from the nonprofit organization who got funded with taxpayer money of hugsandkisses.org, but not white men. No, it's for minorities and women only. White men don't get it. You'd say, well, that's good news. Oh, look, good news. The Hugs and Kisses NGO. Oh, isn't that good news? No, that was lies. Basically, is at best misinformation, if not propaganda, if not outright lies. So I want to hear any more of this. Oh, everyone just gravitates to bad news. No, I think they're gravitating towards reality because it explains the phenomenon of what they're living in their real lives. Any super chats? No super chats. What is going on? Is it Saturday? You guys all out on dates? What's going on? All right. See you guys later. Tools.